Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q1 FY22 earnings conference call of Dwarkesh Sugar Industries Limited, hosted by Batlivala & Karani Securities India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone telephone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anupam Goswami from Batlivala & Karani Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Melissa. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Q1 FY22 earnings conference call of Dwarkesh Sugar Industries. I'll now hand over the call to Banka sir to discuss over the results. Over to you, sir.
I welcome you all to the Q1 FY22 earnings calls conference. Happy to be amidst you. We have had our board meeting yesterday when results have already been published. Let me quickly take you through the results, and thereafter I'll talk a little about our company, the sector, and then it will be followed by a question and answer session. So in this particular quarter, we have had a turnover of about 393 crore and earnings before tax of about 35.63 crores and post-tax profit of 27 crores. Insofar as turnover is concerned, when compared to the corresponding quarter last year, our turnover has been lesser. Last year, we have had the benefit of export sales. This year, all the sugar that we sold was in the domestic market. So which is why the numbers are, the turnover number is lower. PBT, we are better than last year. It's 40% improvement over the corresponding quarter last year, and in fact 50% improvement over the corresponding quarter last year. So all in all, it has been a satisfactory quarter if you compare it with the results of our corresponding quarter last year. So as you are all aware, India is expected to produce 30.9 million tons of sugar in the sugar season 2020-21. This is after factoring for a sugar sacrifice of 2 million tons in favor of ethanol. For the coming season, ISMA has estimated that production is going to be 31 million tons, albeit at a higher sacrifice of 3.4 million tons in favor of ethanol, which means at a gross level, as compared to 33 in season 21-22, we will have production in excess of 34 million tons in season 21-22. Now, this doesn't factor for the devastation which may have been caused because of the recent flooding, heavy rainfall, and flooding in the state of Maharashtra. But I am assuming the reduction in number will not be significant. It will be just about, it's going to be a minuscule number because 2-3 months are there for the season to commence. So the crop will have enough time to, the fields will have enough time for drying up and for the crops to grow healthily. One important announcement we have already made, that we are going to set up a 175 KLPD distillery at our Dwarkesh Dham unit in Bareilly district. It's going to be a state-of-the-art plant. We have already placed Indians LOIs for critical equipment. The project is going to involve an outlay of about 232 crores. The financial closure has been, I must say, has been achieved already. We have got bank funding approved, and we are talking about the plant being operational in about 15 to 16 months' time. I must mention here that our execution skills are better, so we will try and compress the time frame for execution of this project. Even 1 month saved will help us a lot. So, as you are all aware, our name is synonymous with efficiency in sugar industry. We've been clocking the best recoveries year after year, season after season, and our process losses are also the lowest. So then Our EBITDA is also better in this quarter as compared to the last quarter. There has been some moderation in the finance cost, which is mainly because of lower utilization of working capital limits, and plus we have whatever installments that were due insofar as the term loans are concerned, they have been repaid on time. So our EBITDA margin, as you can see, is about 15%, which is as compared to 11.5% in the corresponding quarter last year. Mainly the improvement comes from the distillery segment. We have sold about 9.64 lakh quintals of sugar in this quarter, vis-a-vis 12.56 lakh quintals sugar sold in the last quarter, which the corresponding quarter last year, which included about 6.06 lakh quintals of export sales, which means the corresponding quarter last year we have sold 6.5 lakh quintals. So as compared to that, 9.64 lakh quintals in the sale in domestic market is a significant improvement. Of course, we can't take credit for the sales that has happened. It's all because of the monthly releases that we get from the government and which we sell. But last year the situation was a little difficult in the corresponding quarter because we had for the first time faced the first wave of pandemic. So as a result of which there was some disruption in the consumption. Anyways, normalcy has since returned, and we didn't see any disruption in the second wave of COVID pandemic. So we hold about 25.4 lakh quintals of stock as on 30th June, which is about 3.6 lakh, approximately 3.6 lakh quintals less than what we were holding on the same date last year. Our sugar stock is valued at 2,914 rupees a quintal. Important development in this quarter has been the sale of industrial alcohol. In this quarter, we have sold more than double the quantity of industrial alcohol, mainly the ethanol, as compared to what we had sold in the corresponding quarter last year. So our term loan profile is lean and trim, as you can see. All our term loans are at subsidized rate of interest, and our rating continues to be good. We would of course wish for a AA rating for our long-term loans, but might take a little time. And our commercial rate paper program is rated A1+. Season has concluded, so season numbers are already in the public domain. We have already published them in our annual report also. So an important development in the season which went past was that we generated B-heavy molasses at 2 of our units. So as a result of which we sacrificed sugar production of about 36,000 metric ton, which number in the last season was only about 5,300 metric ton. And we were the first company to clear the cane price dues of season 2021 in entirety. When I say in entirety, I mean cane price payment as well as the society commission. So this is about it. Insofar as COVID, fighting the COVID pandemic is concerned, we have been doing our bit. We've been encouraging our employees to get vaccinated. We have facilitated them actually, and it's been a recent quarter. Insofar as the international developments are concerned, as you are all aware, Brazil has faced a very unprecedented dry weather for the last few months, which is followed by frost. So both of which are not conducive for sugarcane crop growth. So the estimates from Brazil are lower and lower for sugar production. Plus, they have been diverting sugarcane juice regularly for ethanol as well. So, as a result of which we have seen some spurt in the international prices. International prices are presently hovering around more than 18 cents a pound. In fact, day before yesterday, they touched a high of 18.61 cents per pound. So this augurs well. We are waiting for the government of India to quickly announce the export program so that benefit of the international market prices that are prevailing that can be taken and sugar can be quickly moved out of the country. Now, we have India has had a production of 30.9 million tons, and we will end up with a closing stock of about 8.6 or 7 million tons, which is a significant improvement if you compare it with how much stock we were holding 2 years ago. It was 14 plus million tons. So directionally, the industry is moving, is on course. Sugar sacrifice is happening. Sugar stocks are getting moderated. So things seem to be heading in the right direction. Thank you very much. I now invite you to ask me questions, and I'll be very happy to answer them.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may enter star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If your questions have been answered and you wish to withdraw yourself from the queue, you may enter star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the first question from the line of Karan Agarwal from Tusk Investment. Ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, sir. So thank you for taking my question. So my question was more around the macroeconomic factors which are surrounded the sugar industry as a whole. So as you mentioned in your opening remarks that the international prices of sugar is currently hovering around 18 cents per ton, right? Per pound, sorry. Yeah, so and the government of India hasn't yet announced the export subsidy. I'm sure they will. But just to get your sense, at what price should the international, what is the price at which Dwarkesh will be able to export their sugar without the government subsidy and not end up making it?
No, you're right actually. You see, as far as UP sugar mills are concerned, we are in a position of disadvantage.
Yes, I completely agree.
Number one, because our transportation cost of transporting sugar from our units to the port is higher. And number two, our domestic realization is better than what it is for sugar mills in Maharashtra. So the Maharashtra mills, they compare, for them the comparison is with the lower domestic price as well as, they also have the added benefit of lower transportation cost. So, which is the reason why, we keep hearing that transactions are already happening at this price, but if at all they are happening, they are all happening from Maharashtra's sugar mills and not from UP sugar mills. So, this price, there are set formulas, based on which the price is, the right price discovery is made. But presently, the prices that are being spoken about by trade houses are mostly driven by the supplies that are available to them from Maharashtra sugar. And what we hear is that port delivery, the sugar prices in INR, if one were to compute, is about 3,150 to 3,200 rupees. So so far as UP sugar mills are concerned, the realization would translate to less than 3,000 rupees a quintal. So our company senses that we are going to wait for some time. Of course, export sales has its own importance because you produce raw sugar. The cost of production of raw sugar is lesser, then faster liquidation. You can evacuate the stock faster. You realize your money, churn your money faster. So there are advantages, but it's yet not reached a stage where we can kind of get tempted with what prices are being offered.
Thank you for it. Answers my question. So a follow-up question. If I may. So what is the ideal price you think? Is it 20 cents per pound? That's when you consider exporting so that we can liquidate our inventory?
No, like I mentioned a little while ago, that the price discovery is not happening based on what the price is. You see, if the price is, let's say 20 cents, if it reaches 20 cents a pound, or let's say it reaches 19 cents a pound, if there are sugar mills in Maharashtra who are offering desperately sugar at a lesser price for export, obviously their exports will get prioritized by the export houses. Even at these prices, for example, there is a premium, which you get over and above what the price that is quoted. So essentially what is happening now is that the premium is on the lower side.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Riya Mehta from Equitas. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Congratulations for set of number. I just wanted to know the economics of how do we account when I'm seeing realization for sugar that has increased for the quarter from the corresponding year same quarter. However, when I look at the margins, there is a difference. I just wanted to know how the accounting is being done. Do we take the closing inventory price, or is the function of transfer price that our margins are fallen in the sugar segment?
Let me tell you two things. Number one, I think the segment working should never be seen in isolation, because the price at which molasses is transferred to distillery from the sugar division is all internal. So it should never be seen in isolation. Number two, why the margins are lower in spite of the selling price being higher? A simple answer would be that last year in the corresponding quarter, number one, we have sold more sugar, and number two, we had an extended crushing season. So overhead absorption has been that much better in the last corresponding quarter last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But generally, how do we account for it? If you could help me out.
No, I didn't get your question.
How do we account for the EBIT for sugar? Is it the closing inventory cost, or is the function of the transfer price?
No, it's the closing inventory cost. It's a closing inventory cost because you see, raw material cost of sugarcane is sugar is known, which is the cost of sugarcane. Then you add all the overheads to that, whatever directly attributable overheads you add to that, and from that you deduct the transfer price of both bagasse as well as molasses, which you have transferred. And from that which is what is your production cost, production cost for stock valuation purpose, and at that price your stock is valued.
Right. Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir. And I would just want to know what are the current domestic prices right now, and what trajectory do we see it going forward?
The prices that were prevailing until 2 days ago was about 3,200 rupees a quintal, but we have seen some spurt in the prices in the last 2 days, which is mainly because the release quota for the month of August is 22.1 million tons, which is vis-a-vis 2.2 million tons, which was announced in the month of for the month of July. So because of the lesser quota for the month of August, we have seen some improvement in the prices, and August is a month of festivals, so which is why the demand is better and which is why the prices are better. We are seeing some spurt. What was 3,200 2 days ago is closer to 3,300 now.
Okay. And could you help me out? Where can I, if I want to track the quotas, where can I, actually find it?
Is the DFPD site. If you go, Department of Food and Public Distribution, Government of India Food Ministry. If you go to their site, you will be able to get the quota. Or if you can share your number with me, I can. We get a notification by which the quotas are announced. We can forward it to you as well.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Udit Gupta, an investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm good, sir. So what is the what will be our capacity in terms of liters after the expansion is completed, sir?
See, let me tell you, I'll go year of, it's a bit confusing because, yes, ethanol year and the sugar financial year, they are not,
yes, sir.
There is always overlap. But let's talk about financial year. In financial year 21-22, our capacity is 162 KLPD per day. So we should be doing about 5 crore liters, vis-a-vis 3 crore 17 lakh liters that we sold in the last financial year. So we should do closer to 5 crore liters, maybe a little more or maybe a little less. And
yes,
financial year 21-20, then we talk about 22-23. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In 22-23, our halfway through the financial year, our new capacities, new distillery will be operational. So we will get the benefit of the new distillery for part of the year, not the entire year. We will get the benefit for about 4 months in that year. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in that particular year, we may do anything between, let's say, we may perhaps be able to do about 7 crore liters or so. Okay. And thereafter, in the financial year, when we will have the full benefit of expanded capacity of the existing distillery as well as the upcoming distillery, then we should be able to do 10 crore liters plus.
So that means after the entire expansion is completed, it's about 10 crore liters.
Yeah. I mean, if the D-Day is considered to be the date on which we have completed our expansion, then it is 10 crore liters per annum.
I get it, sir. And sir, are we looking at manufacturing from juice in like the current financial year?
No, in the current financial year, we have only used B-heavy molasses. We have so far not used juice.
Okay.
We are going to use it in from season 22-23 onwards, from the middle of the season when the new plant is operational. When the
after that, we will start using juice.
When the new sugar season will start, in that particular season at both the distilleries, we will be using juice this season, and during off season we will be using B-heavy molasses.
Get it. So are we looking at grain by any chance, sir?
No, so far we are not. I mean, the grain perhaps works well in eastern part of Uttar Pradesh, but in central part of Uttar Pradesh or western Uttar Pradesh where we are located, grain is not so easy. The availability is rather difficult.
So we are looking at juice and B-heavy. I get it.
Juice and B-heavy, and we will, with our available capacities and configuration, we will be able to produce 10 crore liters, involving a working of more than 320 days, about 320 days or so.
So, and sir, how are we expecting the recoveries to move forward, sir, considering the weather and everything?
Season 21-22 promises to be a reasonable year. 2021 we suffered a little on account of recovery, little on the recovery front, which was mainly because season 19-20 was an extended season, so the crop got a little lesser time for maturity. So in the ratoon crop, the recovery was lesser in season 21-22. When season 2021 has ended at the right time, so ratoon crop will have enough time for maturity. So we should be back to the recovery of season 19-20. I mean, of course, 2021, according to me, is an aberration. So we should be back to the days of season 19-20. We should see such recoveries in coming season 21-22.
Good. And sir, is there any problem with the ethanol lift off by the OMCs like we experienced in the last COVID wave?
Yes, there is problem, but the best part is there is sincerity on the part of OMC, sincerity on the part of government, sincerity on the part of industry, and all together they are trying to thrash out all the problems. So the problems do exist, but because suddenly, we have all embarked upon an ambitious ethanol blending program, and the infrastructure was not adequately ramped up. So that's taking a bit of a time, but like I said, everyone is grappled with the issue and they are all sincerely working to address it.
And sir, considering the second wave which happened, sir, we are still looking at 5 crore liters in this financial year.
Yeah, we should be.
Okay.
In the quarter ended June, we have done about 1.12 lakh liters. In the coming quarters, our production as well as dispatch should be better. So the
production and dispatch numbers are similar, sir. There's crore and 12 lakh
more
liters.
More or less. Production numbers are higher actually.
Okay. These are the dispatch numbers.
Yeah. These are the dispatch numbers.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you. Participants, if you have a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Mr. Anupam Goswami. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. So what is our cost of production this quarter?
Our valuation rate is 2,914 rupees a quintal.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a blended average. Blended average of stock of March that is being carried forward even in the month of March. So I'll tell you one moment. So March stock which is being carried forward in June is valued at 2,956 rupees. And what we produced in this particular quarter is valued at 2,837 rupees. So the blended average is 2,914. In this quarter, the costs are lower because recoveries are the best during this quarter. So the average is therefore the combined average is 2,914.
So going forward, as you mentioned earlier, that the recovery is going to slightly improve given that the season 2021 has ended in the right time. So cost of production will be back to 28 sort of level?
Let's see how there might be an increase in the cane price also. You never know.
Oh, that is also a possibility, right?
Yeah. So we cannot be. It's too far for us to think of that now.
Okay. So what would be our crushing guidance going forward?
Our initial estimates indicate that the area under cane plantation is 5% more by 5%. Okay, that's the initial estimate. Okay, so if my number was for the entire, I'm talking about season year, not the financial year. In the entire season of 2021, we crushed about 378 lakh quintals. So if it is up by 5%, we should be closer to 378 plus another 18, so close to 400 lakh quintals.
Okay.
Anything upwards of 390 lakh quintals.
Last call, sir, you mentioned about getting approvals for more production of sugar and more capacity in the sugar. So where do we stand there?
No, we have got approvals actually. You see, why we have got approvals, I had also explained it in my last call. See, our installed capacity, our capacity, rated capacity at Gundagi is 6,500 TCD. At the other two plants, it's 7,500 TCD. Now, over the years, we have done some improvisation in our plant. Working efficiencies have been improved. Small capexes have been made here and there. So as a result, there are many days when our crushing goes beyond the rated capacity, which is not acceptable to authorities, which is the reason why we have sort of obtained approval from authorities for higher rated capacity.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we say if my rated capacity at DN is 7,500, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be at 7,500 multiplied by the number of days that I'm going to crush it. It will not work like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But having said that, we can still carry out more improvisation, more improvement in the production, and try and have an average production of more than 7,000 TCD per day.
But then again, our emphasis would be to divert and sacrifice more, right, sir? And
yes,
not increase the production.
Absolutely. No, but when they talk about production, they talk about the crushing capacity. They don't talk about it. You see, whether you are producing sugar or you are producing ethanol or diverting BAV molasses or ethanol. In any case, you have to crush sugar. So this number is of the crushing capacity.
Got it. So when you say 5 crore liters right now, so how much diversion are we looking at?
See, our crushing pattern will remain more or less the same. In 2 of our units, we will be generating BAV molasses. So whatever is required, 5 crore liters, we will generate that much molasses, and it is possible to generate. One may say that it may fall short of our requirement, but there is always a possibility. One can always tweak the TRS in the molasses. In the sense, you sacrifice within the same production facility, you can sacrifice more sugar production. For example, if I say the percentage of recovery that I have sacrificed is 1.5, I can go up to 1.75% also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it, sir. I'll join back in the queue. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Ganesh, an investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Doing excellent.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Sir, we are unable to hear the participant. Ganesh, could you use your handset, please?
Sure. Okay, so I have 2 questions. One is, in the coming sugar year, how much do we intend to use cane directly for ethanol?
No, in the coming season, we will not be using any cane directly for ethanol, sir. We will be using only BAV molasses because 5 crore for manufacturing 5 crore liters of ethanol, there is no necessity for us. We have 3 units, so there is no necessity for us to use directly for making ethanol.
So whatever molasses that we generate, will be in a position to use it fully, correct? Within the levy and all that.
In 2 of our units, we will be generating B-heavy molasses with higher TRS, which means higher reducing sugar, so which will take care of the requirement of producing 5 crore liters of ethanol.
Okay, great. So I know this question is premature, but the next sugar year or the alcohol year, when we have our extended capacity also available, like 15 months down the line. So how much of diversion will happen to direct cane juice to ethanol?
Yeah, then we will be perhaps sacrificing sugar production of almost 30% in order to produce. For example, if last year we could have produced 45 lakh quintals of sugar, so if I go by the same number, our sugar sacrifice to produce 10 crore liters of ethanol will be nearly 30% of our sugar production. So vis-a-vis 45 lakh quintals, we may be ending up producing about 33 or 34 lakh quintals of sugar. So that's the kind of sacrifice we'll be making.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you, sir. I'll say go back to the line.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Riya Mehta from Equitas. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I just wanted to know, how is the government quota system, like do we have a formalized mathematical formula how we derive at the quota for each company, or how is the entire process? If you could just help me out with that.
No, we are not privy to that formula, but broadly it works on how much sugar production we have made, how much sugar stock we are carrying, and how much of and there is some priority given for those who have generated BAV molasses and used it for making ethanol. So all these factors are considered, and accordingly, sugar quota for each sugar mill is worked out. It's essentially a factor of the stock that you are carrying and production that you have had.
Okay, right. And I would want to know that I have basically, because of the seasonality of the festive season, we have seen sugar prices go up by around 200 to 300 rupees per quintal during the previous sugar cycle. So do we expect something similar to that happening this year?
No, we don't see. You see, the last time we saw prices in excess, and when I say prices, I'm talking about ex-factory prices.
Yes.
So the last time we saw ex-factory prices being higher than 3,500 or 3,600 was only in the year 2016-17. Thereafter, the price has been relatively flattish. There has not been significant increase. Of course, it cannot be lower than 3,100 rupees a quintal because that's the minimum selling price which the government has announced. And then of course, even if you optimize the selling price, the average sugar producing prices cannot go beyond 3,250 or so. So in a sense, the prices have remained flattish. There may have been some spurts in a month or so, 1 month or 2 months, but then for example, from here on till the commencement of the next season, maybe the prices can be little better. But once the season starts, you will find Maharashtra sugar flooding the market, and then the prices may be back to the normal.
Okay, and I would want to know that basically I had read an article that the MSP was going to get increased to 3,300. So, or any incremental update on that?
No. You see, this should have happened a year ago, but it has not happened. Our request is pending before the government, and we do expect that the government will take a call on it very soon.
If you could just give a guidance on when is the next meeting or something?
No immediate meeting is scheduled. But you know how the government functions. If they want to do it, they can do it overnight.
Yeah. Since there is a UP election in the next year, we are expecting the SAP prices to incrementally increase. So as the SAP prices increase, will there be a proportionate hike in the MSP also, or how does this entire system work? Since it is too regulated, I just want to know from you, what is it?
There is no correlation between the increase in SAP and increase of MSP. But having said that, government would want that the MSP is such that sugar mills are in a position to pay for the cane dues. So, if on the one hand, higher SAP means impairment of the cane price paying abilities of the sugar mill. So that can be compensated by an increase in the MSP. So it should work in tandem, according to me.
Okay, but in the previous cycle or whenever the SAP has increased, it hasn't been since last 3 years, but before that, was there? Did it work in tandem, or how was it?
No, it was not. But in there were times until 2015-16. The industry went through its worst phase. Where SAP was increased year after year, and there was no MSP, and the sugar prices were subdued. Not just subdued; they were on a downward spiral. So in those days, there was no correlation. So we don't have an example of the past for such a thing. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That was very insightful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Karan Agarwal from Tusk Investment. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hi, sir. So
Hi.
my question is, it's slightly medium term in nature. So since after 15 months, our new ethanol capacity will also be set up. So beyond that, from where will the growth come? Do we have the ability to increase sugarcane production near our encashment area, or is there any scope of inorganic expansion possible? It's a slightly medium-term question, but it would be great if you could share your insights.
Sure. See, if you see every sugar mill's track record in UP, from within the same sugar mills, the production has gone up over the last few years. So every sugar mill, and we also do that very sincerely, we try to improve our crushing capacities year on year. So we add some machines, efficiencies are improved. So we have seen better production numbers, crushing numbers in the last 2-3 years. So we have, and plus we make extra cane developmental efforts also. So this is always an ongoing exercise to improve procurement of sugarcane, crush higher numbers. So I mean, from within the same capacities, we can slowly and steadily achieve higher numbers.
Thank you, sir. That answers my question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you have a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Shanti Patel from Shanti Patel Investment. Please go ahead.
Sir, my question is regarding
I'm sorry to interrupt.
The demand supply.
Mr. Patel, we are unable to hear you clearly. The audio is breaking from your line.
1 minute, huh?
Sure.
1 minute.
Sure.
Now, are you getting my voice?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Loud and clear, sir. How are you?
Fine, sir, fine.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Sir, I wanted to know regarding ethanol, what is the current demand and supply situation, and how the selling price are determined as far as the ethanol is concerned? And do you think that the target of the government 2025, 20%, will it be achievable?
Sir, to answer your second question first, the price of ethanol that the government is announcing, there's no relationship whatsoever with crude prices. So, which means whatever be the crude prices, the program of ethanol blending is here to stay, and government is encouraging this program. So, any increase or decrease in the crude prices will not impact the ethanol procurement price. To answer your next question, you see, both industry and the government are working in tandem. Industry is increasing capacities so that, it is in a position to achieve, supply ethanol to achieve higher blended targets. On the other hand, government has to address a couple of issues, which they are doing. Number one, they are improving the storage infrastructure at the oil depots, at the dispensing units, and they are also working with the Automobile Association of India. Already hybrid vehicles have been launched where 100% ethanol, which can be run on 100% ethanol. So all these factors are, they have already come out with a draft notification for E12, E15. So they are all are working in tandem. If you ask me today, okay, is the supply increased today? The answer is no, it will take a couple of years. And it will take a couple of years for the government also to improve the infrastructure on the procurement side. So with both the things happening, I'm sure if not 20%, we will definitely reach a very reasonable percentage where the industry is benefited and where the government is also benefited, because they are able to save, they are able to conserve the foreign exchange resources and not spend money on the oil imports.
Sir, what about the selling price of ethanol? How it is determined?
No, it is determined by the government by looking at the cost factors.
So how much return they are allowing us to make?
No, there is no concept of any returns as such, sir. So when they determine the prices, they determine the prices considering the sugar selling prices as well as the sugarcane prices. So both these factors are.
No, yeah. I agree with you. But then ultimately, sugar company will not incur loss in any circumstances at all in selling ethanol.
Yeah, they don't expect us to incur loss in ethanol at all, sir. They don't expect us to incur losses.
Because I was under impression that it is cost plus something that government is giving to the sugar company.
So exactly. So we are not expected to incur losses on ethanol. Otherwise, if sugar companies start making losses on ethanol sale, this program will not take off at all, sir.
Wait, that will not. So effectively, the future of sugar companies is bright.
Yes,
on the
sir.
front
Yes.
side, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Dhwanit Savla, an investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. My question is on the co-generation side.
Mr. Savla, please use your handset. There's a lot of disturbance from your line.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me better now?
Management, are you able to hear the current participant?
Can you hear me better now?
Clear, Mr. Sir. Yeah, now it's better, Mr. Savla.
Yeah. So my question is on the co-generation side. Is there any plan to increase our current output which we have in the co-generation side? I think so. It's been around 90 for quite a while now. So is there any expansion on that side planned? Because I think so. I have read about the increasing in the ethanol capacity. So I just wanted to know on that side. And my second question is with regards to the total production of sugar which we are planning for the year, considering that if there is no adverse third wave or something.
Sir, insofar as cogeneration capacity is concerned, we have no plans for expanding our capacity. Yes, the capacities do get created when we set up distillery, because whatever requirement of distillery is there, be it steam or be it power, that has to be met captively. So, in fact, in the Dwarikesh Nagar unit, when we added this distillery of 100 KLPD, our cogeneration capacity went up by 5 megawatts. So what was 86 megawatts per day, 86 megawatts became 91 megawatts. So that is how we've been working. And even when we do this new distillery, where we are working on the new distillery, capacities will go up. But with the reduction in the power tariff by the UP Tariff Commission, there is no great incentive for us to generate extra power and sell it to the UP grid, because number one, the prices are not very attractive, and number two, the payment cycle is also very erratic. So we are all doing what we call as incidental cogeneration. Cogeneration, as much as is required to generate power for our captive requirement. So in the process, we generate power for also export purposes. So that's one. And number two, you asked me about sugar production.
Yes.
We cannot have a sugar production number in mind as to how much we are going to produce. What happens typically is we have command areas. So whatever sugar cane is grown in that command area, we are under obligation to procure the entire sugar cane. So we cannot have a definitive production number in mind. So whatever I was telling a little while ago that the area under sugarcane plantation has gone up by 5% in our command area. So if we factor for that, we should be producing crushing that much more sugar in the coming season.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, and all the best for the coming quarter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you have a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Nikhil Khule, an investor. Please go ahead.
Hi. Hello, sir.
Hi. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. I hope you also.
Yeah, thanks, sir. Thanks.
Yes. Sir, I am the new investor and new also in stock market. First of all, sorry if my question goes wrong or anything foolish in my question.
Don't worry. Please don't worry.
Sir, as our cycle now, the sugar industry before this, it was a cyclical industry. Now, due to the ethanol and other projects, it goes a full year project now. But my question is, now ethanol blending has been started. Oil companies, OMC, for the OMC, if there are any change due to electric vehicle or other anything projects, so is our company decided anything for the future project?
Sir, as you rightly said,
Sorry
sugar
to
industry.
interrupt.
Yeah.
The participants' lines got disconnected. Maybe once they are back, I will promote.
Yeah, not a problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Anupam Goswami. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. So there was a news that Maharashtra government has been providing subsidy to Maharashtra mills for selling sugar to UP and North India. Where do we stand there, and is it disrupting the sugar realization in the UP market and over there?
I don't think so. There was this discussion, but have they really provided that subsidy? I'm not too sure.
Okay.
As you rightly said, there was discussion. I also have read such reports, but I'm really not aware if they have in fact provided the subsidy.
Okay. That was also. I'll stand back. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please enter star and 1. As we have no further questions, I would like to hand the floor back to Mr. Anupam Goswami for closing comments. Please go ahead.
Thank you, everyone, for joining at this call. On behalf of Batlivala and Karani Securities, we will end the call for today. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a good day.
Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Batlivala and Karani Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.